So Carolina wrapped up the Coastal Division on Saturday. 2 games remaining. Georgia Tech at home and then NC State at home. After NC State beat Wake Forest, my general thought was, oh, you know what? It's a good sign of a Dave Doeren. Like, this is yet another example of the positive of Dave Doeren as head coach at NC State. There's a resiliency to Dave Doeren's team. They'll bounce back, right? And I thought, you know what? Maybe there's a way to repaint the rest of the season coming up. They got BC at home to close things out. BC is not a good football team. And then they go to Louisville. Malik Williams is hurt. I'm not sure what his availability is going to be on Saturday.
Cunningham. Yep.
I'm sorry, Malik Cunningham. And then they close things out against Carolina. You never know how things are going to go against Carolina. But after Saturday's loss to Boston College and how it went about, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay. Shoulder shrug. This is another, like, I think you wrote about this. What you saw against Wake Forest was, hey, look at that. That's a Dave Doeren signature win. They bounced back when things were kind of going wrong. All the good things happened. They adjusted. But then what happened on Saturday were all the bad things of a Dave Doeren program, where they used the one mistake to go, I see, told you, shouldn't have done this. And they got super, super conservative again. They wanted to win a particular way, and they kept giving, not just with the turnovers, but also defensively opportunities for Boston College to get in that game. And that's a low point for the Dave Doeren tenure at NC State. But he's been doing this so long, and you kind of get the general pattern of an NC State team now under Dave Doeren, where all I could do on Saturday was go, okay, so be it. Watch him turn around and beat Louisville and get people hyped up again for the NC State game, and they're going to have yet another good season. Good season.
8-4.
It's a good season. For 98% of college football programs, man, 8-4, 9-3, decent bowl game. It's a good year. That's a good year.
But that can't be your ceiling.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And not the way that this season was positioned.
Yeah.
This was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with all they had 30 guys as like seniors.
Yeah, I'd also argue, if you didn't know what they were capable of, right? Like if they didn't just show it to you.
Yes.
Against Wake Forest, you'd say, you know what? That's what NC State does. They lose to Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's only been once in 10 years that Dave Doeren's beaten both Boston College and Wake Forest in the same year. Think about that. You like to say, oh, Clemson, or Carolina. No. The problem is beating Wake Forest and Boston College.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And he's done it once in 10 years. Like, how?
I hope that this is the nail in the coffin for Atlantic and coastal discussions. It's the nail in the coffin. I know you just rolled your eyes, and I hope that makes it onto WRL Sports Plus the way you did. You can roll your eyes all you want at me when it comes to that. But if you want to bitch and whine and moan about, well, the coastal this and the coastal that and the Atlantic, don't lose to Boston College. Oh, but Clemson's so tough. Don't lose to Wake, who doesn't have all the advantages you do as a public university with a fan backing that you have. Okay? So don't come to me whining about the divisions when, what'd you rip Matt Rule for?
Beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's what Saturday was about for NC State. Yeah, your season's not going the way you wanted it to, but you can still close it out with potentially winning 10 games, which is all you talk. Oh, we could have won 10 games last year. We could have won 10 games last year. Okay, well, here's an opportunity to do so. What do? You crap the bed against Boston College. And that's why I'm going to admit something, Joe. I got annoyed at your tweets. I almost gave up Twitter for good because you were hyper-fixated on the last play of the game that ended up being a pass interference call. A bang-bang play that, hey, it shouldn't have been a pass interference, but they called it anyway. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Did you miss the point of the tweet too?
What's the point of the tweet? Enlighten me.
That call,
yes.
That flag.
Yes.
I don't know how that referee throws that at Carter Finley Stadium. If that game was at Boston College, I would have said, yeah, that's human nature.
Sure.
You have to go back to the Wake Forest Clemson game. I was tweeting during that game about, hey, cool, Clemson's getting a bunch of defensive PIs against them right now, but that's because the game's in Winston-Salem.
Sure.
Guess what happens when you're at home?
Yeah.
You get calls, particular 50-50 calls. Yeah. Tennessee beat Alabama at home only after a pass interference nullified an interception by Alabama on their last offensive possession. So my whole point, I tweeted once during the game. Once. How in the world do you throw that flag on a 50-50 ball to save 2 and 7 Boston College?
Do you think they were actively trying to save Boston College?
I'm not suggesting there's a conspiracy theory. I'm asking this human being who's on the NC State sidelines.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do is put your flag in your pocket. The game's over.
Sure.
Let NC State take a knee and go home.
Sure.
It's an odd time to find religion, is what I'm saying to you.
Well,
and if you're a Carolina fan who's all up in my timeline, oh my, and you might as well be the avatar right now. I didn't say that was the reason they lost the football game.
I'm not saying
all
that's why.
I said was I cannot believe Michael Cullen, I believe is his name. I can't believe in that position he took the flag out of his belt and thought, man, this robot utopia that we live in, I have to make sure every single call is correct. By the way, Drake Thomas went for the ball. He has a right to go for the ball.
He does. Here's Dave Doran during today's press conference on that pass interference call that gave Boston College life, and they ended up winning the game.
Drake Thomas made the play in practice all week. He knew the play that was coming, and I thought he made a terrific play. Timing, broke on the football, had both hands extended. I thought he beat the receiver to the spot, and he did everything that we could ask him to do. I'm really proud of him for making that play. And, at the end of that play, we should have been out there on offense, kneeling the ball down for a win, but that's not how it ended. And so it is what it is.
Let me posit this to you another way.
Yeah.
Do you think in that same exact circumstance, the game's at Alabama, Alabama's playing a 2-win team at home?
Yeah.
Do you think the field judge, let me make sure I'm getting it right again, the field judge, Michael Cullen, do you think at Alabama, the same exact play?
Probably not.
You think he throws the flag?
You know what examples you're giving, though?
Which ones?
The example you're using, Alabama.
No, I'm saying the home team. The home team.
I think what I'm getting at here is NC State doesn't get that call because what are the stakes for NC State? And that changes.
I'm not saying to you there's a conspiracy that this guy was thinking about it.
I understand that.
What I'm saying to you is the easiest part of human nature is for him to eat the whistle and go home.
Yeah. I get all that part.
What inspired him to make a 50-50 call when clearly Drake Thomas wasn't draping the arm.
Yeah.
He wasn't reaching over. It was truly a coin toss that at home, we just saw it the next night, Green Bay and Dallas. The Green Bay defensive back drapes the arm, clearly makes contact, no flag, because you're at home and because that's what human nature says to do. That was my point of the tweet.
I'm not disagreeing with the nature of what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm agreeing that it was a terrible call.
I'm not saying it was a terrible call.
I'm saying it was a terrible call.
I'm not saying it was a terrible call.
I'm saying it's a terrible call.
I'm saying I found it to be dumbfounding that he just didn't do the easy thing.
I'm going to go ahead and say it was a terrible call. But, ... This is yet another example where officiating is bad everywhere, in every game, and we'll pick and choose when we decide to fixate ourselves on particular things. If it's the cold medicine that some people want to take as to what happened on Saturday, fine, so be it. But I think for the most part, with NC State this season, all you can do is just shoulder shrug and go, yep, that's just the way the season has gone. And that's how the seasons have gone for NC State. And what happened at the end of that game, for me, really is more of an indictment of NC State being in a position they never should have been in the first place.
I agree with that.
Okay? You should be